So you just got an 07 series canister? Congratulations. Now it's cleaning time? Well, you came to the right place. We're gonna go over step by step how to break it down, how to clean it, how to put it back together. Let's go. Okay guys, so we got the canister from underneath the tank. If you're having trouble getting your canister out, disconnecting these hoses without making a mess everywhere, make sure you go watch part 1 of this mini series. I'll put a link up here and it'll be in the description below. After you watch that, then come back over here and we'll get this thing cleaned up. So the only thing we're gonna need to clean this canister filter is one empty bucket and whatever replacement sponges or pads that you're gonna put in there. That's all you need. Very simple. So the first thing we're gonna do is empty out the water in this canister right into our bucket. And I'm gonna tell you why we're gonna use that later. We got most of the water out. This water, which is canister water, also known as tank water, is what we're going to use to clean our biomedia and the sponges inside our canister. Now let's go ahead and take the top off like I showed you guys how to do it in part 1. First thing you want to do, in order to get this off quickly and easily and very simple, unlock your brackets right here and simply push down on them. The top will pop right off. Unhook these little hooks from the bottom. There you go. Top is off. No prying and pulling and snatching and trying to grab this thing off. I know when I first started I had a lot of problems getting this thing off too, so for those of you that didn't know how to do it, there you go. Now set your top off to the side. Take your plastic cover off. Set that over to the side. Now first thing we're going to do is take out our media baskets. Whatever media that you use in your 407, it doesn't really matter. Media is going to be media. Everyone has their opinion on what's best. As you can see in my top tray, I got some bio balls. Then I've got Fluval ceramic rings in the next tray. So whatever works for you, works for you. We're going to take our media baskets, dunk it right into our tank water. Lost one right there. Give it a couple of dunks. We're just rinsing it off. We're not doing much to this biomedia. The biomedia is what's carrying all of your beneficial bacteria, and you don't want to mess with it too much. Set that off to the side. Same thing with my next tray of biomedia. Couple of dunks, that's all it needs. And as you can see guys, they look pretty clean. There's no dirt, no gunk, nothing's on them. Which means that the mechanical part of the filtration was doing its job. Set that off to the side. My next tray has a bunch of polyfill in it. This polyfill, I'm going to hold it over the bucket here so it doesn't drip all over my towel. This polyfill, completely nasty, but it's doing its job. This goes in your garbage. The polyfill does not get reused, it does not get washed. This gets thrown right in the trash and replaced with new polyfill. Alright, give that tray just a couple of dunks. Wipe it clean. You see how I'm stacking them in the reverse order here? Just what I like to do. Last tray has my big coarse sponges. These coarse sponges do get reused. All you got to do, dunk them in your tank water, give them a good squeeze. And all the dirt and gunk that's trapped in them will be released into the water. You'll start to notice your water starts to get a little darker from the dirt that's being released from these sponges. Here's a cleaned, squeezed out sponge. Looking good. Looking basically brand new. You don't have to replace these coarse sponges. You just squeeze them out and reuse them. Same thing to the other one, guys. Give it a good squeeze in the tank water. This tank water is preserving whatever beneficial bacteria is on these sponges. There you go. Good as new, just like the other one. Set that right here. Now we'll pull out our other coarse sponges. Get all that drippage out. And if you guys can see, my sponges aren't that dirty. You know, this is some particles of substrate that made it into the filter. But you see these dark brown spots, this is where it's really dirty. But the majority of it has a pretty good color. So the filter wasn't really that dirty. This tells me, for all of you that ask the questions of how often do you need to clean your filters, this tells me that I can push this filter maybe another 2 weeks before cleaning this filter again. So let's say, for instance, I waited a month to clean this filter. The way that it looks to me now, the next time I clean this filter, I'll push it to 6 weeks instead of 4 weeks. That's how you determine the sweet spot of when and how often you're supposed to be cleaning out your filter. It all depends on your tank, your bio load, a bunch of different things, but this is how you can tell. So one by one, see a little more dirtier on the inside, guys, see? But it could have gone a little bit more without needing a cleaning. Toss these sponges in here. And we're gonna rinse them out. Now while I rinse these out, guys, let me tell you that yes, this is a little bit being extra cautious. Theoretically, these sponges, you can rinse them out in regular tap water if you wanted to. That's not gonna do that much damage to the total beneficial bacteria that's in your tank. You may lose some bacteria by washing these sponges in tap water due to the chlorine that's in your tap water. But because you're preserving so much bacteria that's in your biomedia, they are gonna reproduce really well and really fast. So whatever amounts of bacteria that you do kill off these sponges, they'll reproduce very quickly. But because this is an instructional video and I want to show you guys how to do it right, I'm doing it the cautious side. The safe side is to clean your sponges in the same tank water as well. Just squeeze them, rub the dirt off of them, and they'll look new again. Here's that clear pad, medium-sized pad. You see all the dirt got out of it? No need to replace these guys. You just got to squeeze them out and they'll be ready to go once again and be ready to be reused. As expensive as this hobby is, guys, reuse what you can reuse. Here's the next one, nice and clean. Now I didn't give this tray a dunk, I'm gonna just give it a dunk. Little rinse. As you can see, guys, this water is pretty nasty now. See how nice and brown it is? That's all the dirt that was being held inside those sponges. But the trays are clean. Your bucket, you're definitely going to want to take this over to your sink or your bathtub. Give the whole bucket a good rinse. No need to preserve any bacteria in here. Most of your bacteria is in your sponges and in your biomedia. So I'm going to go do that right now. I'm also going to rinse out this tray as well. I'll be right back. Guys, while that guy's over there cleaning out that canister, I wanted to remind you to like the video if you like it. It helps me and the video out a ton. It gets it out to a whole bunch more people that need the help just like you guys. And I super appreciate it. Thank you in advance. Okay, I'm back. Canister is clean. Rinsed it out nice and well. Tray is nice and clean. Now we're going to go ahead and put everything back together. So your clear sponges, these white clear sponges, go on the back side of the tray. There you go. And the blue sponges go on the inside of the tray with your egg crates, these egg crate shape, facing out. Not this side, guys. This flat side goes against the tray. The egg crates go up and pointing out. What the egg crates do is that they help and provide a little bit more surface area for bacteria to grow on these sponges. So while these sponges are your mechanical media, they also do house a lot of beneficial bacteria. So technically they're mechanical / biomedia. It works both ways. There you go, guys. Tray's complete. Slide that one back in. By the way, you cannot put this in the wrong side of your canister. They only go in one way, so don't even worry about it. Now we're going to put our trays back together, starting from the bottom. Bottom tray is going to have our coarse black sponges. This time, these egg crates shapes are going to be pointing down to the bottom. The reason why is the way this canister works, water comes down this side of the canister through these sponges that are on this side, goes down to the bottom, then it goes across to the other side and up the other side. So this bottom tray is the first tray that water hits. So as water is going up through the bottom tray, we want the water to hit this egg crates first. So egg crates go face down in the bottom tray. Next tray is going to be your tray of Polyfill. Polyfill is your last form of mechanical filtration. It's your fine mechanical filtration, which is going to help and get your water looking crystal clear. Here's the bag of Polyfill that I use. $10 at Walmart. I think it's $7 on Amazon. I'll have a link to this in the description below. All you do is grab a handful of it, pull out a nice wad, stick it in one of the trays. There you go. Grab another handful, rip off a nice wad, stick it in the other tray, the other side of the same tray, and there you go. That's your tray of Polyfill. This is your last level of mechanical filtration, which is going to catch the tiniest of particles floating around your water, giving you crystal clear water. Next tray up begins your biomedia. Here I've got my Fluval ceramic rings. These come with your Fluval 407, but this will be your next tray up. And finally, in the last tray, if you choose to, you can put chemical media in here. ChemiPure Blue works amazing, as well as Purigen. You can put them both in your top tray if you choose to use chemical media. It is not something that's absolutely necessary in your tank, but it does help in water clarity, and it helps in removing organics from your water. It helps in removing medications from your water. It also helps in removing bad odor smell from your water. So it's up to you if you choose to use chemical media. If you do, I'll have links in the description below to all the chemical media that I use in my tanks. But for this filter, in my case, I don't know why, a long time ago I decided to put some BioBowls in here. So this was going right back in there. I forgot to put this little red tube in the bottom tray. So make sure you don't forget to do that. Not a big deal though. You can put it in the reverse order too. There you go. Grab the basket by the little handle. And again, it only goes in one way. You cannot put it in this way. It will not fit. It won't fit, guys, so you can't go wrong. There we go. Now we put our little top back on. I don't remember if I cleaned this or not, so I'm just giving it a little dunk. Just a little rinse, that's all you need. Put your top back on. Now, at this point, you have a few options. You could either decide to fill your canister up with water before putting it back under your tank, or you can put it back under your tank completely empty the way that it is right now. Some pros and cons. If you decide to put this back under your tank the way that it is, nice and empty, nice and light, so it's very easy to put underneath your tank, you will be able to fill the canister up with your tank water. I showed you how to do that in the previous video. All you got to do is use your prime handle here a couple of times up and down. That's going to suck water into the canister. But where's that water coming from? It's coming from your tank, which means that the water level in your tank is going to drain. By doing it that way, what you're going to have to do then is refill your tank. If you decide to go the other route of adding water straight into your canister and then lugging the heavier canister underneath your tank, that will prevent your tank water level from going down, but it is a little bit more lifting to do, I guess, because the canister is a little bit heavy. That's the way that I prefer to do it, but that's just because I don't want to have to fill up some buckets and go refill the tank. I'd rather just refill the canister one time. Also, another good reason why I like to put water into my canister directly is because I could also add what you should add into a canister right after doing the cleaning is a little bit of stability. Stability is going to help boost the beneficial bacteria production in your tank and in your canister. And so since we were just in here messing around and cleaning things up and squeezing stuff all over the place, stability will help replenish whatever bacteria we did end up killing off. This will help replenish it fast. It'll help keep your tank stable and make sure that you don't have any kind of ammonia spikes or nitrate spikes or any kind of crashes. So since I have the canister open right now, now's the best time for me to go ahead and add the stability right to my canister. I add the dosage that is recommended for my entire tank size right into the canister. Follow the dosage on the bottle for your size tank. Next, because I'm also going to fill this canister up with tap water that has chlorine in it, I don't want to pump this full of chlorine, kill all the bacteria that's inside this canister, and then this chlorinated water is being pumped out into my tank. What you want to do also is make sure you add some prime directly into the canister. Granted that if you chose To install a canister empty without water and then fill it directly from your tank, all you had to do is add this prime and stability directly into your tank instead of into your canister. Works both ways. Alright, I'm gonna go fill this sucker up and I'll be right back. Okay, canister's full, not all the way to the top, because when I put this motor back on, I don't want the water to spill out all over the place. So I got it nearly full to the top. And put our top back on, place our hooks underneath, and like I said in the previous video, you don't want to rely on these brackets to seal this top. What you want to do is physically push down on it on all four corners and make sure that this top goes on properly. Feel for the seals. I can feel right here there's a big gap right in front. I'm on a table now, guys, so I don't want to break this table. Let me make sure I do this the right way. Alright, I had to use the floor because I want to make sure I have no mishaps like what happened the last time with this thing flooding. But once you push down on it and you know you got a good seal all the way around, then you want to go ahead and install your hooks on the bottom. Feel all around the gap, make sure the gap is good all the way around, and your canister is good to go. If you need help figuring out how to install this canister back underneath your tank, connecting your hoses, making sure everything is right, make sure you go watch part 1. Other than that, see ya on the next one. If you're new to African cichlids or you've been considering keeping your very own, I have a great webinar training with the top 3 secrets to successfully keeping African cichlid. And it's free. I'll put a link up here and also in the description below. Be sure to check it out.